Welcome. It is Verdict with Senator Ted Cruz, Ben Ferguson with you. I hope you had a fabulous Christmas with your family, your friends, and a holiday. And as we are getting back to the show as usual, I'm at the beach right now, so I've got a better tan than you do, Senator. But you look professional today in the studio, so I'll give you props for that as well.
Well, Ben, some of us actually have to work for a living. and I, for one, on behalf of our listeners, but especially on behalf of our viewers, I want to say thank you for not wearing the Speedo.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And especially for not wearing the full Borat. I mean, that would just be too much Ferguson.
That's only on Christmas Day. I keep it special.
I would have to be Homer Simpson pouring bleach in the eyes to get that image out of my head.
I knew you were going to take your shots, and nothing changed at the end of this year. So we're still this is how everything's right with the world, and we know it. We've got a lot to talk about on today's show outside of Borat, and that includes, I would say, I think probably the whole show today, the amount of fraud that is being exposed in Minnesota is truly incredible. And if you go back to the governor and his tweet that he put out on 10/20 of 2023, he said, quote, Minnesota's economy doesn't work without child care providers, so we're giving them a raise. We're providing $316 million in direct funding to boost pay for child care providers, all while building a stronger child care system for middle-class families. Learn more at mn.gov/DHS/partners, and many of the groups that were defrauding our government are listed in that governor's text and tweet right there.
Well, look, this is a story, number one, about fraud. It's about corruption. It's about political corruption. It is about an immigrant community, the Somali community, that came over and discovered American politicians willing to be partners with them, partners in robbing the taxpayers. The scale of this theft, it really boggles the mind. You're looking at a period of years where Minnesota spent $18 billion on Medicaid, and up to half of it, $9 billion, was fraudulent. One out of every $2 spent was stolen. And the absolute staggering brazenness of this really makes the jaw drop. But it also, there was a vicious and corrupt circle where Minnesota politicians, Democrats, shoveled money to these Somali fraudsters. The Somali fraudsters made millions and even billions of dollars. They sent millions and even billions of dollars back to Somalia, back to Al-Shabaab, the Islamic terrorist group there. But they also gave thousands or even millions of dollars to Democrat politicians to get them elected. And in turn, they shoveled even more and more cash. The two joined together. It was like Bonnie and Clyde. And to be clear, Tim Walz is Bonnie in that analogy. And is robbing the banks. But look, we wouldn't know about how bad this was. A 23-year-old YouTuber, a guy named Nick Shirley. Now, I didn't know Mr. Shirley. I hadn't encountered him before. But he did something remarkable called investigating facts, interviewing witnesses, and finding out what actually happened. Now, there was a time when that particular collection of activities had a word for it. It was called journalism. And there were these people who were typically chain-smoking drunks in bars with grizzled voices who sort of pride themselves on, I am a journalist. That's what I do. And they would even give awards, Pulitzer Prizes for people that engage in, and there's a particular kind of journalism, investigative journalism, actually going in, well, as the word says, investigating, asking, knocking on the door. By the way, their entire shows, like 60 Minutes, the flagship news show of CBS, its entire shtick is investigative journalism. None of the corporate media was interested in investigating this. And so we're going to actually do something unusual on this pod. We're going to play significant segments from the video that Nick Shirley put out. This is the YouTuber who went and actually did the actual journalism that the corporate media refuses to do. I'll tell you, this video has gone viral. As of right now, it has more than 90 million views on X.
Incredible.
And it keeps growing. It's adding millions every hour. People are watching this because it turns out people actually want to know the truth about what happened. And I want you to watch and listen to this because he does something very simple. He goes to these daycare centers. He goes to these so-called autism centers, and he knocks on the doors. A daycare center, you would think, would have children. So he goes and looks for the kids. What he finds, or rather what he doesn't find, is staggering. Give a listen, and this would be a good episode to watch on YouTube or on Facebook because you can actually see the fraudsters and not even a tiny hint of shame as they are robbing you blind. Give a listen, give a watch.
But before we get to that, I want to tell you about our good friends at Patriot Mobile. And people ask me all the time, how good is the coverage? Because you want to stay with the big mobile companies. I've been saying now for years, and they've been in business for well over a decade, that it is amazing coverage. If you've got coverage right now you love, you're going to love your coverage with Patriot Mobile even more. But you get rid of the woke left agenda. I am proud to report to you that my phone worked in Israel. I traveled internationally and had zero issues with my cell service. Whether I was in Bethlehem or literally calling from Gaza at the Gaza Strip, this is not a joke, I had amazing coverage. Everywhere that I went, I flew back to the U.S., my phone worked perfectly, my emails, all the data. I was posting on social media from my phone. Tel Aviv last night, it was phenomenal. So if you're worried about coverage, don't be. Now, why should you switch to Patriot Mobile? Not only are you probably going to save real money every month, but then the magic happens. A portion of your bill every month goes back to support conservative causes, candidates, organizations that fight for our First and our Second Amendment rights, the rights of unborn children. And they do something that's really special. They stand with our men and women in uniform, whether it's police officers or law enforcement in general, or our men and women that fight for this country overseas. They stand with our wounded warriors and our fallen families who've lost a loved one so that there is the financial need and aid that is needed. So that's why I want you to switch to Patriot Mobile, because every time you pay that bill, you're making a real difference. Now, I also want to give you a free month of service. Go to patriotmobile.com/verdict. That's patriotmobile.com/verdict. Or call them 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT for a free month of service. Switch today. Make a difference. patriotmobile.com/verdict or 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with a promo code VERDICT. All right, take a listen to this incredible, and it is truly journalism that is lost, as you said, Senator, in all the mainstream media. They don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, so they took a 20-something-year-old who was brave enough to do it, and it's gone viral. Share it on social media, by the way.
By the way, a quick point. I no longer use the phrase mainstream media. There is nothing remotely mainstream about the dishonest, lying, propagandist hacks that populate CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times. They are not mainstream. They are fringe, leftist ideologues. And so I call them corporate media. I refuse to suggest there's anything remotely mainstream about them.
Amen. Here is Nick, again, a brave 20-something, doing the job that the media should have done and refused to do it because they protect Democrats and the governor of their Walz at all costs. Here is him telling the story of just how bad the fraud actually is.
When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received $1.3 million. In 2021, they got $987,000. In 2022, they got $714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, $604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about $800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the 2 of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility as you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in. And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell?
Yeah.
Try to get in, ring the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside, or...
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No. Can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
I'm not sure. I don't.
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars. I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door. Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare. And after a few questions, the lady went silent. Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Child Care.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I try to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door. I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cuz I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, what there? What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
happened?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
No! You're a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain you everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
no.
you said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now,
This is my
they're all
tax
getting mad
money.
because he's showing the
I
paperwork
don't
of
know
this
that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my whole
children.
life
We
here.
saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
So
But now
where did
they're
this
all
money
getting mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent
ask
on?
the owner.
There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking
That's
for
not
the
my
owner
proof.
if you're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
Okay.
Senator, let's just pause there for a second and just go back. I mean, we are basically 10 minutes into this video that is 42 minutes long. I would encourage everybody to look at it. You've retweeted, I've retweeted it, and you can watch the entire thing. You can watch this video as well as on Facebook and on YouTube as we're putting it out there. But the level of fraud, I can't for a moment believe that the government and the governor and the Democratic Party were not involved in this fraud. Yep. Forget looking the other way. Like, this is just egregious, deliberate corruption at the highest levels. And it's, look, if it was one place, one location out of hundreds of child care centers in the state, you could say, well, hold on, it's kind of hard to police every one of them. This one got under our radar. This is all of them. This is everywhere they're going.
Look, this is organized theft at a wholesale scale. And it's brazen. So what we just witnessed, this is one 23-year-old guy with an iPhone going and just looking at the addresses. You can get the addresses from the state website. Yeah. Going to the actual locations. Now, number one, a daycare would be open. The door would be open. The windows you'd be able to see in. All of these windows are blacked out. They don't want anyone to see in. There would actually be people there. It would be possible to register your child to go to daycare. And there would be friggin' children. Like, you would have playground equipment. You would have, by the way, you read Mike Walz's tweet about how important playgrounds are in daycares. His tweet has pictures of playground equipment. You know what's not at any of these places that are being visited? Playground equipment. These are empty warehouses. And listen, one government inspector walking by could do exactly what this kid is doing, which is knock on the door. Let me see the kids. Are they safe? Wait, there are no kids? Why did we send you? So in those 3 daycares that Nick Shirley went to in that first part of the video, it was a total of $9.3 million. $9.3 million went to 3 locations with no children that claim to be daycares, and yet they're just stealing blind. And any idiot inspector could have walked up. And notice, it's not subtle. It's not like, oh, they're just doing fancy bookkeeping. No, there are no kids. It's a total brazen lie. By the way, these locations were a block away. They're all in the same neighborhood. They're all run by Somalians. And to watch these Somalians coming up and confronting him, and listen, it was threatening to get violent. They're screaming at him, this is not your business. This is not your business. This is not your business. The reaction, I actually love watching the reaction because we have several more where he asks, can I sign my son Joey up to go here? They're like, no child. Like the look of horror that no, you can't actually put a child here. We're busy stealing money. This next segment gets very interesting because as they go on to the next daycare center, a couple of things happen. Number one, the Somalians begin following them. Listen, this is a intertwined, corrupt community of criminals. These are criminals. You don't steal $9 billion.
This is the mob. This is the cartels. This is exactly what you're dealing with here with the Somalis in Minnesota. That's what it is.
And by the way, they're the single
Organized
largest financial supporters of al-Shabaab, the radical Islamic terrorist group in Somalia. It is the Minnesota taxpayers from the money that they're stealing. So they begin following this 23-year-old kid because the word is out. And in this next segment, you're going to say, look, I got to say that the internet is weird. The internet comes alive. Do you know the meme of the Karen? The meme of the Karen, of the angry liberal who's screaming with really short hair and is screaming?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. You're about to see, if you are watching this on video, the meme of the liberal Karen come alive. And I swear it's the same woman. It is the exact same woman. And you will discover in liberal Karen world, facts don't matter. It is all a partisan battle, and truth is evil, and she hates you. Don't take my word for it. Give a listen. Give a watch.
Have a good day. As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city. And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now. From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign. That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up!
So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up!
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million over
Don't
the
open up! It's ice!
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know
You're
what it-
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you!
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you. It's
going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up!
fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up!
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are, you don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up! It's ice!
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children right here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare
Minnesota
center.
says 99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in there.
We're going to educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelt learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None. Not at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that
seen
here.
a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years.
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving
Disgusting.
$1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's, if they get caught for that's a federal offense. I know. I studied law.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Well, heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my God.
Senator, you look at the Karen there, and she's screaming, ICE, don't let them in. There's no one, by the way, to let them in because there's no kids there. Constantly, you see nothing to do with kids. You see no playground equipment. You see no footprints in the snow. These are just fake front companies, another way to describe it. I mean, I give the mob actually some credit. Usually when the mob was running like a dry cleaner, they actually had clothes they were dry cleaning. When they were running like an auto repair, they would actually be repairing cars. Like they actually, when they were like cleaning their money back in the good old days, they would actually have a legitimate business to then run their corruption through it. They're not even faking it. And I mean, when you see the Learning Center sign misspelled, the word learning on the sign, what else do you need to understand about just how corrupt this is? They can't even spell the word learning correctly.
So look, when the mob was running a dry cleaner or running a bar or running a restaurant, part of the reason they would actually run a legitimate organization in addition to laundering money or doing whatever else they were doing is because you actually had law enforcement. You had police officers, you had city inspectors, you had the FBI, and so you had people coming and checking. This is so brazen that there is only one conclusion, which is no one from the state of Minnesota bothered to check on anything. What Nick Shirley is doing, no employee from Minnesota, no employee from Minneapolis or St. Paul actually went and said, hey, we gave $5 million to this daycare. Let's go see if they are like having the kids play with like toxic sludge or like, sleep with rattlesnakes. I mean, there is in an ordinary civilized world, there are inspections that hospitals, that daycares have where you have to make sure that the facilities are safe. Nobody ever came to check. And actually, this Karen, and I have to say, if Saturday Night Live were funny, they would literally take that character. They would take that character and put her in a skit because, she's short-haired and angry and she's screaming. She knows nothing other than she's screaming, don't open its ice, don't open its ice. Look, I'm sorry, that kid is not ICE. If you've ever seen
doesn't look anything
like
an
agent,
ICE guy. Yeah.
He's a big old dude in fatigues is ICE, not a skinny 23-year-old YouTuber. But in her view, this is good and evil. And she, the benighted left, are good. And everyone else is accursed and evil. And so what she's saying, don't come out ICE. She's assuming whoever's inside that door is here illegally. She's assuming that if ICE saw them, they would arrest them, that they may find out they were a criminal. They may find out they had violent crimes. They may find out they're murderers or rapists or child molesters or gang members. The last thing she wants is a gang member actually apprehended and deported. She would rather her community where she lives to be filled with people who are there illegally for whom there is no scrutiny. And when you see them asking, okay, so this place got $1.9 million for running a child care center and there are no kids. She has no response to that. She doesn't engage
none at all.
Substantively.
None at all.
And she doesn't care. This is actually what is interesting. It doesn't matter to her. She hears they're stealing millions of dollars for the taxpayers and there are no children. And there's not at all like, well, that would be bad. A normal person, if you heard, hey, what do you think about someone stealing millions of dollars from the taxpayers? Like any normal, rational person would say,
and by the way, just a humanitarian question, like where are these kids? This goes back to when the Biden administration was giving away children that were coming across the southern border to people that were not family members, and then they called to check on the kids, and no one could find the kids, and
ideology
we're still trying to find those kids.
All. Ideology trumps all. And listen, in the wake of this, what has happened, several things are going to happen. Number one, I am hoping the corporate media will be shamed into
doing their damn job.
Reporters to go do the same thing. What this YouTuber did was not particularly complicated. It's astonishing that nobody else would do it. He simply showed up at the places and asked basic questions. He asked the neighbor, hey, how long you lived here? Since 2017. You ever seen kids come into the place called a daycare?
Yeah.
Nope, never seen a kid there at all. Like, that's not profoundly difficult. The reason it wasn't happening is Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, and every elected Democrat on the city council, they don't want to ask those questions. Why don't they want to ask those questions?
Because they want the votes. They want the Somali community votes. This comes down
to
buying votes.
There are about 100,000 Somalis in Minnesota. They vote as a bloc. They vote for Democrats. By the way, they elect some of the most rabidly anti-American Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
That's who they elect. They elect people who are radical and extreme, and the local Democrats, they are utterly complicit in helping them steal billions of dollars.
By
and
the
the
way,
cynicism.
Can I just bring up the Ilhan Omar? A lot of people probably ask this question. She's made a lot of money. When she went into Congress, she was in debt. Now she's multi-millionaire. There are people now asking a lot of questions about her. And not only like marrying her brother is a possibility, but how she made all of her money. Now you go and you look at her district and you're seeing this and you're like, I have a lot more questions that I think should be answered about Ilhan Omar and her husband and where all their money is coming from.
The scale of the fraud and corruption is staggering, and everyone is complicit. Obviously, the thieves are.
Yes.
Obviously, the Democrat politicians who won't even send an inspector. By the way, you know what Tim Walz did this weekend? He sent out a picture of his cat and said, "Happy Catter Day."
Yeah.
Like, nothing to see here. Look at my pretty little cat. I responded on X and I said, does the cat have $9 billion?
Yeah. Where's the money?
And
Show
by the way, if Tim Walz is not utterly guilty, I've got a couple of questions for Tim Walz. Tim, have you watched all 42 minutes of Nick Shirley's video? Yes or no? If no, why? Tim, has every member of your cabinet, has everyone in charge of daycare and health care and Medicaid and autism, have they watched all 42 minutes of Nick Shirley?
Yeah, great
and
point.
if not, why? The people who are on that video, who are obviously committing theft and fraud, have you sent police investigators to investigate them? Have you arrested them? Are you prosecuting them?
I'm not crazy to say this, and if you disagree with me, please tell me why. If you are a person that is in a position of power as an elected official, you see this video, wouldn't the first thing you would do would to get together with your staff, that then we get together with law enforcement, and then immediately send out teams like Monday morning to go to all these places and investigate immediately?
They don't want to shut them down. They want to cover it up. They want to say, no, it wasn't us. We're not responsible. And this is the scale. It is so brazen they can't deny it. And by the way, all right, to all the corporate reporters who've done no journalism for years except attacking Donald Trump for everything he says and does, here's the next place the story's going. Here's where the puck is going.
Yeah.
How much of that money has gone directly into the campaign coffers of the elected Democrats? How much has Tim Walz made?
It's a great point.
How much of the U.S. senators made? How much of the members of the House made? How much has the mayor made? How much has the city council made? How many millions of dollars were they buying political protection in order to enable them to steal billions? All right, I want to play one more segment.
Yep.
And this is a segment where Nick Shirley tries to go to another daycare center. Woman answers the door. He asks if he can sign up his son Joey. She says, no, we don't take children here. And then he says, all right, let's branch out. We've struck out at every daycare center, and these are all within a couple of blocks of each other, all of these fake storefronts. He said, let's go to an autism center. And we've seen an explosion of autism centers, and I want you to watch and listen to what happens to when he goes to an autism center that once again is being paid millions of dollars by the taxpayers of Minnesota. Give a listen, give a watch.
Little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they are receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him in the autism center. Because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably.
Probably, so you don't really know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here, because there's
So why are you asking us about like
the fraud.
frauds and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot. Yeah. But that's our number on you. Y'all can put. But this is we can't let you guys use.
Okay, thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center and a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next fraudulent daycare center that was just around the corner.
We're on to the next location. We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year, 2025. They had to shut down because there were so many violations, and they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center, LLC.
So they got shut down, then started another one.
Literally the next day.
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45 million got sent to this daycare center. We have empty parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is different. We'll see if we see anybody.
I knocked on the door, absolutely nobody was inside, and once again, no children could be heard anywhere.
So David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. Licensed for over 50 kids. No children anywhere, but yet millions of dollars every single year.
So the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble, they had so many violations that they had to shut down, and they reopened the next day under Super Kids Daycare Center. You see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland, which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars, and again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You would think if they had the same address, that whoever's inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would just say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address?
On top of all of the childcare centers, that's just only a small piece of the fraud. What other fraud are they committing here in Minnesota?
So another major piece of the fraud is the home health care industry. Where we're going now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home healthcare companies in the same building.
14 of the same healthcare companies in one building.
14 home healthcare companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim Walz managed the budget here inside of Minnesota?
So the last biennium, we had an $18 billion surplus. This biennium, we have a $6 billion deficit. That's a $24 billion swing in one biennium. How in the world can you burn through $24 billion in 2 years? This is how, right here. This is a huge part of it.
And so would you say a lot of that is fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Absolutely. I would say better than 90% of it is absolute outright fraud.
And a large percentage of this fraud is from these healthcare companies that are charging the state millions of dollars while they actually aren't providing anything. In fact, the FBI just did a raid a few days ago on a building similar to the one we are about to enter. Inside of this building, there were 14 of nearly the exact same businesses offering the exact same services.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare.
No, it's okay.
Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here.
No.
Why can't I get healthcare here?
No, wait.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that gentlemen matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers that everyone here is fraudulent.
So
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
as we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building.
Senator, I would encourage everybody go watch. There's another 10 minutes of this video, and we'll put it up on social media. But it is truly impressive to watch the Somalis there use the police to kick someone out of their building who is exposing their fraud by just asking for rates. You're talking, he said 60, 70, 80 million running through that building every single year with no one offering anything. And yet the police show up not to arrest these people that are just lynching our tax dollars for the American people, but instead, when a 22, 23-year-old YouTuber who's a hero is the guy they're harassing.
So Nick Shirley, in one afternoon, he uncovered $110 million of fraud. And in fact, during the video, he has a running tally of the fraud each place that he uncovers. The reason at the end, it speaks volumes that the police showed up and forced them to leave, not because they were investigating fraud, that the people in that building were obviously robbing the Minnesota taxpayers. Now, listen, I don't fault that police officer. He's doing his job. The problem is his job is decided by the mayor of Minneapolis and the city council of Minneapolis, and they are all corrupt Democrats who are being paid for by these Somali thieves. And so at the end of the day, the police knows their jobs is protect the criminals, protect the thieves, because the thieves are funding the politicians who are in charge of the city. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was a Minnesota taxpayer, I'd be really pissed off. I am a U.S. taxpayer. Those are federal tax funds they're stealing also. And, there was an interesting snippet that I want to stop on that was there. So one of the things in that last section was autism centers, and autism centers are popping up like crazy. Here's an amazing total of autism Medicaid payments. So in 2017, Medicaid paid $1.3 million in Medicaid payments. In 2018, Medicaid paid $2.2 million Medicaid autism payments. 2019, what do you think it went to?
I have no idea. At this point, it's got to be triple that. I don't know.
$19.8 million. From $2 million, it went to 19. God. Then in 2020, it went to $32.4 million. Let's get all the way back up to 2023. What do you think it was in 2023?
40 million?
$2.3 million. And then 2024, $228 million, $92,890. So it went from $1 million a year in 2017 to $228 million a year in 2024. And, you know, you can shovel a lot of cash out the door if you open empty storefronts. You say it's for autism. Yep. You claim you're helping lots of kids with autism. You don't actually help any kids. You don't treat anyone. But you go and rob the taxpayers of $228 million in 1 year. In 1 year. That's how you get up to $9 billion, when you're robbing hundreds of millions of dollars year after year after year, and you're doing it in child care, you're doing it in autism care, you're doing it in, quote, home health care. This is organized crime, and it is organized crime. And understand, the Democrat politicians are not innocent bystanders. They're not just lazy. It's not that they're incurious and they just hadn't noticed it. Yep. They have skin in the game. They want this fraud and grift to continue because the people who are stealing are turning around and, number one, voting for the Democrats, and they want to keep that roughly 100,000 Somalians in Minnesota. They want to keep them voting for Democrats. They vote as a solid block. But number two, they are writing checks and they are funding the Democrat campaigns, and this is stunning. It is an indictment. By the way, the local newspaper there, everyone in the local newspaper, you know that the local newspapers have not even covered Nick Shirley's video? They just did a year in review. What happened this year in Minnesota? And the largest fraud in history, apparently it didn't happen according to the local newspaper. That's not journalism. That is propaganda for a corrupt and dishonest team. Watch this whole video, and let me say, I don't know Nick Shirley, but bravo. This is an American citizen doing a real service to this country.
Don't forget, share this wherever you can on social media. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube or on Facebook and on X. You can watch as well. And the Senator and I will see you back here in a couple of days.